Sit, 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 sit,
Good morning. Always nice to welcome you to 3+ You. We try, of course, always to welcome you with a smile. We are a happy show after all, but we realize that as you're watching us each and every day, we're people. So we have different things going on in our world. Sometimes it's a good day. Sometimes it can be a difficult day. And human nature, of course, is that you want to surround yourself with people who will lift you up. And that's how we're going to begin the show for you this morning, because Charles Miller is back on the show with us. He, of course, has Scenic City Neurotherapy, and he has brought his good friend, Michelle Lovelace. Perhaps you've heard of her, but she has Outshine Adventures. Do I have that right?
Yeah, yes,
Almost,
that's right.
Here in town. So good to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
You're challenging us this morning in a good way. Is that right?
In a good way, yes. You know, we talk a lot about rebuilding the physiology in the brain. That's what Scenic City Neurotherapy specializes at, is enhancing the processing power of the individual through our different treatment methods. But once we get everything working, what do we do with that? It's what we do with that that takes us forward and helps us continue to grow and supports our good mental health.
Okay.
And that's why we partnered with Outshine Adventures, is because they offer very healthy, very accessible outlets.
Okay, so you do. I almost called you Outshine Yoga, and then I remember
I am Outshine Yoga. So we have Outshine Adventures, which is our company, and I am the yoga piece. So I'm Outshine Yoga. Yeah.
So this is where Michelle comes in, because if I've never done yoga.
Wow.
Right? I admit
Julie,
a lot of my faults on this show.
No, it's not a
I've
fault.
never had a pedicure and I've never done yoga.
Wow.
This
I
could
love
be my
that.
year.
Those are fun facts.
But so maybe this is going to be my year, because it's not like just a weekend challenge. This is a weeks-long challenge, and the beauty of Outshine is you're mobile, so you go to different places.
Yeah. So this is a 90-day challenge. We're going to start on the spring equinox, and we will go to the summer solstice. So it's 90 days of yoga, and whatever yoga means for you. So a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what yoga is. Yoga is not what you see. It's not the contorted, feet behind
Downward
the head.
dog. Yeah.
Downward dog is pretty accessible, and it's actually very relaxing. But we do a lot of sitting, we do a lot of breathing. We do a lot of being one with nature and being present in our body.
Do you find, okay, first of all, on this 90-day challenge, I mentioned that you're kind of mobile. So if people follow you on Facebook, is the idea that you're going to go to different parts of the community and people can join in?
Yeah. So what it is you sign up. We have 3 packages, 3 different levels of what we would offer. You would get like a yoga mat and a journal or a t-shirt. So you get all these prizes. Okay. And then that gives you an RSVP to get 3 free yoga classes, March, April, May, and June. And with that, you get to come to our yoga that happens outside. And so we have different locations. We're gonna be at the riverfront, we'll be at Renaissance Park. I mean, we travel everywhere, and they'll get those notifications once they RSVP.
Okay, so to this part specifically, when they come, in droves they come, how long is a session?
A session is typically 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am probably reflective of an awful lot of people. I go. And then I have times where I'm not going and I just kind of collapse. Yeah. So the idea, one of the reasons I've never had the pedicure, I have a hard time carving out time in my day to stop. Do you think I'm typical of a lot of people?
You are, and in the saying goes, if you think you are too busy, you need to sit down and rest.
Right.
So it's really important for us that have busy lives and work busy schedules.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do, however, have an intended part of my week, multiple days of the week, where I am outside and I'm doing some things, and it is for that very reason, because my phone's not near me and I can pause. But you were talking with me about people think it's the flexibility factor when really it's the breathing. A lot of us don't even give ourselves time for that.
Yeah, well, breathing happens naturally, right? We don't have to really think about breathing, it just happens. But when we can consciously breathe, we connect to the present moment. And then what better way to do it than being outside, connecting to our natural world. It's just something we don't normally do on an everyday basis.
This is a really big deal for you though, Charles. I mean, every time you're on, you have a different emphasis of what you do at Scenic City, because you know that the healing does not stop once they leave your door.
And we don't do it all. That's why we partner with so many different people in the community to find, to work together for that holistic, but like instead of HOL, WHOL, the whole body approach, brain and mind and soul and body together to move the patient forward.
We've had some, I've had some conversations with people of late, the beautiful weather that we've had, and this resurgence of kind of optimism that it brings. When the sun shines, you do just feel better. You mentioned that you went to a yoga event and you forgot, you didn't think you could do it.
I was under the same misconception as a lot of people. As I went to it thinking that I would go and I would, we were sponsoring the event, but I was really curious, honestly. I wanted to see, but I was just like, I'll just watch this time. And I went in my scrubs after work one day, and they encouraged me to jump in, and I was like, oh no, I'll wait. And about 5 minutes in, I wish I had. In that process, I went and sat closer and just listening to Michelle guide the process through, and I did the breathing techniques with them, and I felt measurably improved just going through that. Not even going through the whole piece, but just participating, just being in that peaceful environment.
Is it the kind of thing, Michelle, where it's so individualized, yoga is, that whoever you are, you kind of bring to it and get out of it what you need?
Exactly.
Almost like church in a way.
Yeah, and research shows that just even 15 minutes of just breathing consciously, like, boosts our mood, it improves our happiness. So just breathing, just sitting peacefully outside in your home in a chair, just breathing and connecting to your breath can just change your mood.
I'll give you, I'll throw out an example of what if. So I'll be 53, and I have a daughter who's 18, and I have one who's 24, soon to turn 25. This summer, I lose my younger one to college, and my older one gets married. Can you imagine how many Kleenex boxes I have at my house? So, if my girls and I came and did yoga, all three of us at a different jumping point of our lives, we would each take something different from this.
Yep. At each level of your own life, take a piece, and you may even take a tool home with you, right?
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? A tool home?
A tool, so like a breathing technique, or even, a meditation technique.
Because I think that what happens in any part of our life, so I use my personal example for a reason, because you kind of have this identity, and then the identity shifts, and you question, well, who am I now? Yeah. So does the breathing help you to get alone with your own self too?
Yes. Breathing just changes. It just changes so much, and we can get into aspects of our physical body that hold on to a lot of memory patterns, things that we're not ready to face yet. And so breathing helps us get deep into those kind of issues that are in the tissues. Yeah, that's good. Our tissues, not my Kleenex tissues. Yeah, not the Kleenex tissues, but our physical tissues. Yeah, and then that really helps us kind of open up and just, ask and be curious about, okay, who am I now?
Right. Are you ever amazed to think about, because you were a nurse anesthetist for a long time, and then you opened up Scenic City. There was a time where this whole conversation would have seemed kind of out there, and now it's so mainstream, isn't it? It's becoming more and more.
I think with the pandemic, we moved into a space to where people had to really start addressing their mental health, because life slowed down for a moment, especially at the beginning when things were shutting down. People had to stop and evaluate, how am I coping with things? They couldn't just keep themselves distracted and busy anymore. And so a lot of people started having that conversation. We had been open before the pandemic, but only about 8 months before. And we watched people reaching out for the first time to finally address underlying mental health issues that they'd been struggling with for years, but never took. I hate the word self-care. I feel like it's overused, but self-prioritization is probably a better word for it.
So I think it's really, it's very typical of you to come today and let the conversation really be about how you can join in with what she's doing with Outshine Adventures. Because some of you watching might think, okay, I kind of want to go see Charles at Scenic City and find out about the things he can do to help me. And some people might want to go in a reverse order and start with the yoga, see how that works, and then maybe come and see Charles. And they can do it either way.
Either way, they're complementary processes. You can do one if, you know, you can come talk to us. We may be able to help you with your process, but the work you do outside of our clinic is where the real gains are made. We're not, I say all the time, we're not the fix, we facilitate it.
Thank you both so much. And I like your earrings.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay, Outshine Adventures, the yoga challenge begins March 20th, runs until June 20th. Don't you love it? It's with the 2 equinoxes. I think that's wonderful. You can follow them at outshineadventures.com. They're also on Facebook. They'll be putting out there where they're going to be throughout those 90 days. And then if you want to get in touch with Charles and his staff at Scenic City Neurotherapy, they're on Shallowford Road. The phone number is 228-0579. Online at sceniccityneuroTherapy.com.
Yeah.